Hey, Mr. School Counselor, welcome home everyone. To my new viewers and subscribers watching the show for the first time, this is also for you as well. Before we get into it, I gotta give a shout out to the University of Southern California, USC, Fight On. My wife saw that I was showing some love to my alma mater about 2 weeks ago, so she said there's no way I'm making videos without showing love to her school, so hence the shirt. This week's video is gonna talk to my students that are considering or contemplating becoming entrepreneurs, starting up their own small business before or even after college. My intentions here are not to sway you from starting your own business. I think it's awesome. I think it's amazing. Just remember, my goal is always education first. Getting you into the college or university of your dreams with as little to no student debt as possible. Always remember that. Back to entrepreneurship though. It's lucrative, it's successful, it's rewarding. However, there are a lot of things that we fail to talk about, such as challenges and tasks when it comes to entrepreneurialism. So sit back, watch, hopefully you enjoy. Remember to share, like, comment below. We never know who's watching and we never know who this can be useful information for. So, welcome to the Mr. School Counselor Show. So this week's video is geared for my students that are considering becoming entrepreneurs. The work they have to put in, the obstacles, the challenges they're gonna face. It's real. I am aware that there's a message that entrepreneurs do not need college. Could be yes, could be no. One thing's for sure though is I wanna bring different points up to my students. Because if that decision is made, I wanna make sure that you're aware of it and it's in the back of your head, knowing the possible outcomes if you do or do not decide to go to college. Now, before I get into my points of emphasis, we know the names of these two gentlemen, Mr. Mark Zuckerberg, founder of Facebook, and Mr. Bill Gates, founder of Microsoft. We know how important, how powerful, how impactful these two gentlemen have been in our society. If you do or you do not know, yes, they are college dropouts. They attended Harvard University. According to Boston.com, Harvard University right now accepts only 4.9% of the students that apply. That means 95% of the students don't get in. The reason I share this is Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg had that hard work, had that dedication before becoming entrepreneurs. Prior to Harvard, Bill Gates attended Lakeside High School in Seattle, Washington with a tuition cost of $34,900 and I believe $35, and Mark Zuckerberg attended Philip Exeter Academy with a tuition cost of $40,000, or if you're boarding, $50,000. The reason I bring this up is resources and opportunities. These two gentlemen had it way before they even attended Harvard. So if you do not have these opportunities, you're gonna have to work a little harder. Doesn't mean it can't be done. It just means that the challenge is a little more daunting, a little more strenuous, but you can do it. I share this because it's very hard to compare a suburban community where you have endless amount of resources up against an urban community or a rural community. Can it be done? Again, yes, but your resources, your networking, it just requires hard work, it requires more time. Now that I shared a little piece of the big tycoons, Mr. Zuckerberg and Mr. Gates, I'm gonna share topics, little quotes from your local entrepreneurs that may be in your state, you may even know them. So you wanna be an entrepreneur and you don't wanna go to college. Maybe you've heard that you had a cousin, a sister, an uncle, an aunt that went to college and has massive amount of student debt. Well, that doesn't mean that has to be the case for you. Maybe they dormed. Maybe they didn't have to dorm. Maybe you can start at your community college where you gain small pointers, small tips. So for example, you can pick up an accounting course, how to do public speaking, for example. These are little things that are gonna be important when you decide to become an entrepreneur. I understand we live in a digital world, but person to person or face-to-face interactions are still gold when it comes to entrepreneurialism. I'm gonna touch on some of the pointers from entrepreneurs that are local. They might be in your town. You may even know them. I was doing some research, I was doing some digging, and I want to just bring up some quotes that I feel are important for our students to know that are interested in becoming entrepreneurs. So, CNBC created a survey, and it was in regards to a majority of business owners who do or do not have a college degree. Their findings were that entrepreneurs who did not finish college actually outnumber those with higher education degrees in every age group and gender except those that are 65 years of age or older. Chuck Runyon, who is a founder of Anytime Fitness, states, if you want to get out of college and try to hustle, it still requires a great deal of capacity. You have to work every bit, if not harder. Mr. Runyon's right. Just because you decide not to go to college and you want to create or start up your own business, you got to put that work in. It's not going to be easier. You have no one other than yourself, or unless if you go in with a partner, pretty much pushing you, telling you what to do. You have that vision in your mind and you want to pursue it. So you got to grind. You got to go get it. Scott Dabrowski, who is a community expert at Glassdoor, states, there still is no conclusive evidence that shows dropping out has a competitive edge. Well, he said it himself. There's no conclusive evidence. So why just drop out? If the reason for you to drop out is because you're tired of it or it's too expensive, you gotta think twice about it before you do. If you feel that you're 25 to even 70% sure that you wanna start a business, it's not 100 yet. Don't take it from me. Take it from others. Take it from entrepreneurs. Go out there, Google it. Google the pros, the cons. Google how much work, dedication. John Baronati states, and I apologize if I incorrectly said your name, that he's the founder of Big Salad, that a college degree can offer knowledge to a business founder that could have made their earlier days easier. Look, there are some entrepreneurs out there that from the age of 8 or 9, they know what they have, they know their vision, they're generating already funds or revenue towards a project. If that's you, then you're probably not even listening to me right now. But if you're the student that's up in the air, you're 50-50, that's something for you to know. Because any little insight, any little tip or advice that you can pick up, if it's not from the internet, could possibly be from school. There are a lot of mentors, there are a lot of people that you can get to know. That's the beauty of networking. Amy Freeman, who is the founder of Spice and Tea Exchange, shares that it's a hard road to create a franchise and secure financing for a company. She had to learn on her own. So for example, she had to learn on her own about accounting, how to start a business, create marketing. These are things you can pick up online because we live in a digital world now. But if you go to a community college, if you go to a state-funded school, if you go to a school because you got grants and you got scholarships and you don't have to pay that much money or pay no money at all towards student debt, why not? Take this opportunity to network. Take this opportunity to resources. She shared herself here that if she would have known to build this structure, she would have had more resources to help her in her business. Some entrepreneur stats. So this is from fitsmallbusiness.com, and this goes back to June 2017. Only 6% of the country's population work on their business as a primary job. I'll say that again. Only 6% of the country's population, work on their business as a primary job. You gotta keep grinding. You gotta keep working. You're gonna have a part-time job. You know what? That's okay. You're gonna have to worry about benefits. Where are you gonna get your benefits from? These are things that you're gonna encounter. So yes, I share this because there is a lot of glamour, there's a lot of clout to becoming an entrepreneur. But these are things that you also need to hear about if you're deciding not to go the college approach, or college route, Now, some of the reasons, and again, this is fitsmallbusiness.com, why some businesses fail. 46% are due to incompetence. So if you're just not paying attention, or it is what it is, you don't know the skill, 46% fail. 30% lack managerial experience. So you may be an entrepreneur, you may be onto something, you may have a great startup coming, but without experience, it could detriment your business. Now on medium.com, Dakota Shane who's the founder of a social media company, shared 7 things that inspirational gurus don't tell you about. One of the things he shared was it's a lonely road. So you may have a lot of family and friends, but they don't understand the struggles, the challenges you're going to go through. You're going to have to put those things aside in order to see that your business grows. Another one is managing is different than skill building. So it's different to manage a company if you decide that you're hiring employees than just building a company. He does share though that he wouldn't have it any other way. So Mr. Dakota Shanes knows how challenging it is, how there are some things that gurus or inspirational gurus don't talk to about with future entrepreneurs, but he would do it again if it was up to him. So you see, it may be your option, but it may not. If you are not 100% sure, think about college. And lastly, Forbes.com shares there's Neil Patel, who New York Times best-selling author, as one of the top 10 marketers, and Entrepreneur magazine says he's created one of the 100 most brilliant companies. He shared also a couple things that he'd like entrepreneurs to know as well. Revenue does not make you rich. Being the alpha and omega to your business. You run to yourself. When you work a 9 to 5, you report to someone. When it's your company, there's no one to report to but yourself. So you make those decisions and you got to stand by your decisions. Work-life balance sucks in the beginning. As stated before, chances are in your first year, you're going to be putting everything you can into your business, and that's okay. If you stick with it, you should be fine. But don't quit. Try everything you can. If you feel that you are an entrepreneur, don't settle, don't quit. And lastly, hard work and networking. Networking isn't just let me go somewhere and give my resume to somebody or just talk to somebody. No, there's a skill, there's an art to it, especially if you want to succeed as an entrepreneur. And entrepreneurs will tell you, get to know other entrepreneurs, get to know successful people that are currently doing what you're doing or something similar. Once again, I stated this video is for my students that are thinking of becoming entrepreneurs. If you have yet to start up a business, if you've never generated money, if you haven't had that vision but you know you want to be an entrepreneur, it's going to be there. Think about education first. Think about education helping. But just know that there are a lot of challenges and obstacles you will face. Stick with it. As many entrepreneurs say, it'll be great. Decide to go back on your word if it's not for you. Education and college will be here. Opportunities are endless. But you got to give it everything you've got. With that being said, I want to thank you for watching. Leave a comment below, like, subscribe, share with someone. We'll see you next week.